So, let's jump right into the action with today's daily challenge. For today, we have Umbra Awoken. We use Umbra Exiled and Awoken Traditional. 22-day work streak. Oh, that sounds rough. Glad you finally got some time to relax. So, the mutators. We have 2 for 1. Each time you draft a card, gain a second copy. Shields up, enemy units enter with damage shield. And extra pyre. Your pyre gets plus 80 health. Just in time for the stream. Glad you decided to join my stream for relaxing. I hope you'll have a fun time. So, the scores today look relatively low compared to recent scores. We have most scores around 45k. There are 2 outliers with Drake at 47k and Ninja at 56k. I don't think I've seen Ninja before, so I'm not sure if this score is actually legit, but we will see. Maybe there's some combo that most people didn't find, so that could always be possible. But anyway, I'm expecting some resistance and maybe we have a little bit of a harder time getting flying kills today. Then again, Umbra Awoken is generally a pretty strong combo, with Primordium being able to take the Awoken stat buffs very well. Let's jump in and see what we get to play with today. Ooh. Space Prism Sting Void Binding. This already looks like a Emberdrain deck to me. If I see a couple of 0 costs and a Void Binding, that's tempting. We have Talos with Daze and Zap as our first boss. We follow that up with Scorch Fell, which makes Emberdrain a much more risky strategy. And finally, Seraph the Patient, where damage shield is certainly gonna be very useful. We have 2 Awoken banners before Talos and an Umbra banner afterwards. Something to keep in mind. Volatile Gorge. We start with 4 0 costs and a Void Binding and we get offered Volatile Gorge. That's a hard sell. I'm not sure if I want that. It's very powerful in Umbra in general, so don't get me wrong. But I think I would need to change quite a bit about this deck for it to be all that good. Infused Mallet, on the other hand, seems very reasonable to pick up. But obviously Volatile Gorge is much more powerful if we manage to build around it. But I feel like most directions this deck could go in don't involve Volatile Gorge. So let's go with Infused Mallet instead. And we have the option of Aggressive Edible or Stalwart Snack. We currently have no buff cards in the deck that really benefit Stalwart Snack a lot. But we should be able to pick some up from the first 2 fights. Because there are 2 very good common stat buffs in Awoken with Razor Sharp Edge and Steel Enhancer. So I am interested in going for Stalwart Snack here. We get the unit draft for a +4 attack challenge. That seems good. I do want to get a decent unit as soon as possible. Hey, Burries! Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime in the 3rd month. Says, thanks again for the daily entertainment. You're welcome, Burries. I'm having a good time. Welcome back to the channel and enjoy your remote in chat. We could try to get a plink on the Trusted Priest. I mean, we're gonna play plinks anyway, so might as well. Do we set him on the bottom floor? I think so. Let's also remove the damage shield from that guy. I think we train Stew on Sting the top floor to get the collector down. Definitely restore here. My mallet is not triggering a lot. If we hit this Forge Disciple with the Sting, we might save 6 damage. Luckily we have a lot of pyre health, so that's nice at least. Can we kill? Yes, with the Void Binding and a Train Steward. But then how do we beat the boss? Well, we still have 3 stacks of buffet left. So we'll be at 14, 17, 20 damage. 24 health. We can't even put down another Train Steward on this bottom floor. What's left in the deck? 2 Stings. I feel like we go for it. We won't have any Ember next turn. Is the major issue here. But at least we can play the Stings. 20 damage does matter against this boss. Well, and we already have enough damage, so... Good, very good. We managed to not take damage, which I didn't think was possible, but we somehow lined it up just right. Perils of production. That's great. That's really nice. That means we will be able to do an Emberdrain build perhaps, even though we are facing off against Scorchfell. Is there anything else to consider here? And Umbra Soul and Mind Collapse are much harder to use against the shields up enemies. There's a Razor Sharp Edge as well as Steel Enhancer. The question is, do I want to scale offensively or defensively more? Steel Enhancer is already 0 cost, which is a big upside. Even Sharpen isn't bad. But I think Sharpen is a little bit worse than the other two. Although Sharpen does remove the damage shield from the shields up pretty well. Superfood was sadly not a choice for Primordium. And yes, I would have liked that a lot. Hi Nightbreeze, welcome! This shouldn't be such a hard choice. It should be just Razor Sharp Edge, right? But if we don't get Superfood at all, it will be pretty hard to use. Because Primordium will only have 3 health. But if we get Superfood, most of our problems are gonna be solved anyways. So shouldn't it just be Steel Enhancer instead, in case we don't find Superfood at all? We would need a way to buff up our Primordium. Phew. Let's go with... Sharpen is also quite tempting. Yeah, I think we want Steel Enhancer. Ooh. This is a good unit for Penumbra. Yes. I wouldn't mind the other two, but Animus of Will deals well with shields up and is just a really good target to buff up. Like, amazing. So our options are Merchant of Magic and Gold versus Merchant of Steel and Awoken banner. And next floor there are Merchant of Steel and Awoken banner and Merchant of Magic and Pyre Health. And because gold is more valuable than Pyre Health to us, I'm gonna go for the Merchant of Magic first and the Merchant of Steel afterwards. Do we just hold over a Perils? I like it. The deck is probably gonna become pretty big due to 2-for-1. So it's not a bad thing having a holdover card that's essential. We definitely cost reduce the Void Binding. We can't afford a large upgrade and I don't think we need a cost reduction right now. So I am gonna go with a Magic Power upgrade on Plink. Magic Power and Consume to be exact. And then we move on. Non-boss enemy units enter with spikes 3. That might be a problem. That might cause us to set up on a higher floor. We got 1 damage shield at least. I mean, that's about what's expected. Set up Animus of Will and Primordium on the top floor. Start buffing Primordium. Do we want to set down another Animus of Will? We are facing 10 damage next turn, which our Animus of Will obviously can take. So we would need some kind of Plink, Sting, or blocker. I think I want to leave space for a jump blocker next turn. Okay, we got multiple ways to solve this issue. Let's start with Blink. That already removed one of those guys. Trainsteel blocks all the hits and dies against the spikes. But because of the spikes, we also need to buff up the Animus. And we still can't get through to the Collector. It's the problem. And buffing attack... No, we can! Why does that not change anything? Oh, the Collector still has the damage shield as well. That sucks. Forgot about that. Well, at least our Animus still lives. So that's nice. What happens if we Sting? Restore. Train Steward. And restore. That seems good. We'll take a bit of damage to the Conduit Infiltrator though. But that was pretty much unavoidable. We have a lot of damage. We just need to get rid of these blockers. And we should be fine. There we go. That's a win. Nice. I don't think we need more perils. Pack monsters could be good. We do have a lot of space on the top floor right now. Or on the floor we set up on. But I feel like what we really want to focus on is buffing Primordium. I'll skip. More Steel Enhancers, Sharpen and Wildwood Sap. Sharpen is another pretty solid card, but it's expensive. We do have the holdover perils, so we can play them. And I would like some spikes. I would really like some spikes. So I'm gonna get it. More Steel Enhancers would be good in this deck, but it's not critical to have them. While I think having some source of spike might be very important. I could... If we didn't have the spikes, I would go for the Husker Meteor, but we do have them, so I'm gonna skip. Yeah, there's the quick. That would have been good. I really want Large Stone and another Multi-Strike on one of those Animuses. But if I can't get that, some extra health isn't bad. And I'm just gonna use the fact that we have 2 Animus of Wills right now for some flexibility. I do want to finish this Animus, but if I can't, I will use the other one for now. With some cheap but relevant stat upgrades. Hoping to gain some more powerful scaling later on. Hellhound, Remnant or Stygian Guard rare draft pick. What are we looking for in this deck? Obviously anything that buffs up Primordium, potentially looking to gain Multi-Strike on Primordium. If we can ever get Superfood, that would be nice. Rage would also work well with Superfood. Stygian Guard could offer us gifts. Would that be interesting? It would be decent. But I think I'm gonna go with Hellhound. There's a One-Horn's Tome. Well, in fact, 2 One-Horn's Tomes. Should I pick them just in case we get Superfood? That could be worth it. It's obviously neither Transcend Him nor Reinforce, because these don't do anything at all for us. We have no summon effects, no armor. One-Horn's Tome is expensive. I would need to cost reduce it. But it has high potential. It's a way to kill flying bosses. We need to be careful about passing on Fragile, of course. And it's gonna be almost useless in this fight in particular. Yeah, we do have the large animals. We could set this up on the bottom floor right now. That would be 2 kills. I mean, that's worth it. Start the Emberdrain. We do have the holdover perils. And I think I do want to use the other animals as a backliner. So we can actually get kills on these guys. This is 6 damage incoming, that's fine. So we can get a kill and get the damage shield of the final one. I could play a one-horn storm, but only really use it on a backliner here. Because of the fragile, so that's not that great. Although we can start scaling up the backliner, that's a thing we can do. I'm not gonna catch this clergyman. This is either heal and sharpen or heal and one-horn storm. How confident am I that this frontliner is gonna be healthy? Should be. Honestly, should be. And the backliner only has 3 health anyway, so the fragile doesn't really change anything. Finally a steel enhancer. The sharpen, honestly, the attack buff is more appealing to me right now than the spikes. Damage shield, that's very good. That's extremely good. Too bad we can't get this guy down to 20 health. We only have 15 damage, we would need 17. And final wave. We do have the kill. Ah, that would have been nice to have last time. Well, took 5 damage. Cost us 10% score here. That's plus 10 health. On Primordium, potentially. Channel Song on Animus of Will. Nice as well. Shroud Mitosis we can't use. Primordium is not a mortal unit. I take the Cycle of Lives. Vine Mother. I think that's the only one I want to think about here. We already have our Animuses. I don't think we want to add Vine Mothers to this deck. It wouldn't be terrible, but they also wouldn't really provide us with much benefit. We want more draw. We need to draw into our buffs sooner and more often. Dupe and remove. We do have a very good dupe target in the deck, and that's Void Binding. That card is a powerhouse, and I do want some removals. I am giving up some coinage and an artifact. So, yeah, that's worth. Let's look at the Umbra unit and quickly decide to skip it, because no Umbra unit at this point is really worth taking, I think. What are the removals we want to make? I could see myself removing one Horn Storm from the deck, because upgrading 2 is just too much. And I think I really want to do this early. Because currently it's very hard to use. And for the other card, there could be a Train Steward, a Restore, a Blink. I like the Blinks, honestly, because they get to, they are a way to remove the damage shield. Then again, we have Sharpen to do that as well, so should have looked at the champion upgrade first. Let's remove a Train Steward here for now. Aggressive edible again. That's really not what I want. Aggressive edible does scale well with the animuses of will. But I think rolling for superfood is our best chance to get flying boss kills, flying seraph kill at this point, because we missed the other bosses. It's not a lot of damage right now. Maybe we have to split up. Set up the multi-strike animus and primordium on the next floor. Have the animus of will with higher stats on the bottom floor to soften up the enemies. We would need to draw into something that makes the animus survive though, which would be a void binding. That's about it. It's too dangerous. So what about setting up the animus of will and the primordium on the bottom floor and the other animus on the top? Maybe behind a train steward? This first wave is gonna be very hard to deal with. 24 damage, 27 damage, so this guy would leave with 23 health and the backliner would be unharmed. And we don't have ways to deal with that. They would deal at least 11 damage to us, most likely 22 or even more. I can't take 22 damage. I guess we need to give ourselves the most possible time to get buffs, so we can be ready for when these guys reach the top floor. No buffs yet. This is alarming. Can't kill the collector, not even with a double blink hit. At least we are scaling our damage now. And we do have space on the top floor now to put a train steward there. What if I put a train steward in front? Primordium will feed it, it will go up to 11, would tank both hits, we would deal 24, which is 3 hits to this guy and then 1 hit to the backliner for 6. It's not good enough. It's simply not good enough. I hate taking this risk, but I feel like we have to. And it seems like it pays off. Because we did get the card we needed to get the kills here. And we also get to start buffing up Primordium. Of course, at this point, it's very unlikely that we will ever manage to get a bottom floor kill. But that doesn't stop me from trying. Because this top floor basically works fine now. We might still need some help with this wave, huh? Some spikes on the frontliner are a good way to start out. That's not enough yet. Can we get them? Doesn't look like we can. I should have thought ahead. That was too greedy. I don't want to take... I don't want to take that amount of damage. 50 health. We can't get up to 50. Another spike 3 doesn't help. Yeah, I messed that one up. I messed that one up. Wait, can we use the train steward perhaps? We can. This way we take only one hit from the backliner. But I really think I should redo this. I went overboard with buffing the bottom liner there. And didn't plan ahead. But it seems like this strategy is generally pretty sound and should get us through this fight safely if we play this correctly. But these guys with damage shield and armor, they are so tanky. Maybe it should be Primordium on the bottom. And buff the top. Buff the top. That's also pretty sketchy. So, our goal... We definitely want the extra attack. Maybe I should just get the spikes right now. Instead of buffing Primordium. Having these spikes helps a lot with the waves that still have damage shields up. So, how much power do we need to deal with this wave? We need to be able to deal... We basically need to be able to deal 40 in a single hit. Right? No, 50. We need to be able to deal 50 in a single hit. So we just stack the rage here. Yeah, we are mostly gonna use rage for this. We lose 1 rage, but we gain 6 attack. So we need 1 more buff. And we can start working on the bottom floor. Once we're dealing 50 per hit, these waves are no longer a threat. Because, well, 2 hits on the frontliner and 1 on the backliner each. So let's see what we can do. Cycle of Life versus Sharpen. Sharpen is so much damage. The extra health matters as well. Okay, this is a good draw. And we managed to get the bottom floor kill. So it did work out after all. Splitting up. Grovel Emberforge Feast. Feast isn't bad. To get more use out of Primordium quickly. No, it's not what I want. We need some descent. We need some descent to get flying boss kills. And we need some cost reductions. Our spells are way too expensive. As much as I want this Merchant of Trinkets, I do want it. There would be a couple of nice relics we could find there. But I really think I want to go to the left here. Let's see what's on offer. Double stack. That has some powerful applications in this deck. Double stacked Void Binding is just insane. Iceberg. Well, in this deck we don't want Frozen Nostalgia. We almost have no damage spells. We have the Blinks, but... And the Restoring Retreats, they are all not that important either. I think we just get a Rail Fortress Hammer. We don't need a ton of capacity either, so... Just having the extra one makes setting up a bit easier. I feel like Cycle of Life needs to be cost reduced. More so than the One Horn's Tome. The One Horn's Tome needs 2 cost reductions to really be playable off a single Perils. I feel like we can't afford to focus on the One Horn's Tome too much right now. There's so many other things we need to work on. We could permafrost it and then play it when we have both Perils at the same time. That's really slow though. That's very, very slow. And it removes our only chance to actually get it double cost reduced. So after Fell, we don't have a Merchant of Magic. We only have one right before Seraph. Split Anvil would be sick in this deck. I agree. Split Anvil would be very nice. I could also permafrost the Restoring Retreat. That wouldn't be bad. One Horn's Tome though? I think I'll do it. And then we remove 2 restores, I think. Don't wanna draw back into those. Heaven's Seal, I think we can deal with that. This is a powerful setup. But is it good enough? We'll see. It's another 20 damage to the backliner. Well, too bad this guy heals up. How much damage can we get on this Animus of Will? A lot. But we have to play Perils of Production first. We also need damage on the bottom floor. This is quite annoying. Maybe I should have set up higher up and then used the Restoring Retreats later. So, we can get 15, 18, 21 by 4. That's 84. So with a Blink we can kill. But we still don't get the Collector. That's not good at all. I don't think we can do that. I think that would be an issue. We should kill this overcharged tank instead. Leave the collector alone. Or maybe play Blink. 64, that can be done. But we're still not getting the kill on the bottom floor. 9 times 4 is 36, that's not enough. We need the Void Binding and at least one Steel Enhancer. And we could play another Steel Enhancer on the bottom floor. Well, this Animals of Will would then probably be good enough to stop this overcharged tank. No, it wouldn't. We would need more buffs on top of that. There we go. That will do. I do want to save the damage shield, but I probably should keep her healthy. And I still need to put in more and more work on the top floor, but this time at least the Blink will be enough. So I can actually get some buffs on Penumbra this turn. I don't need to kill this wave, I just need to kill the boss. So that's what I should focus on for now. Yeah, there we go. That's good enough. Could even buff these even more and send her on the bottom floor as well. We still have 3 Train Stewards in the deck, but I think I'd rather have the gold at this point. Cave in. I don't think we need it at this point. Awoken's Rail Spike. I would like that. We have a couple of expensive cards in the deck. And we do have some energy manipulation as well. So we could make it pretty big potentially. Hellspanner Stormfruit. We're not triggering Hellspanners consistently. But it could be strong in the early turns if we happen to draw Awoken's Rail Spike or maybe One Horn Storm. I'm still gonna take Thornfruit for the extra draw though. Consumable card. I don't think I would take any of these, but yeah, I don't want another Space Prism. So it was a pretty bad event for us. Could get another multi-strike on her, but that's a bit too dangerous, I think. It will make her scale better, but I really need some better starting stats. There we go. That means she's now gonna be our main unit, I think. who's gonna be in front and gets fed by Primordium. But we still have a place for the other one as a backliner. Just supporting. This first wave will be tough to deal with. Can I afford to play Void Binding? Probably not this early. Yeah. I don't think I can. I will be Emberdrain completely next turn, and we will have a Scorch in our deck, and we will also take damage to the Ultimate Penance. This is good. Alright, we don't have the Space Prism yet. It's a little bit of an issue. Primordium talking about Soul Guard here. Yeah, we have to. Nice! That was a really valuable snipe. Well, we can't one-horn storm this one. Not yet. This is good, we get this Absolver down, that's very useful. And I think I want spikes. I think I need the spikes, more than the extra health. Blocking a hit with Train Steward, not that great. I think this is what we do. Problem with blocking hits with Train Steward is that these guys are not gonna hit the spikes, so... I think we're okay on the top floor. We are. And it looks like we are gonna be okay on the bottom floor as well. Pretty far off from a flying kill, but... only 12 damage. So we healed him for 10, healed her for 10, and then got 12 damage out of that. Wasn't a big gain there. But this fight is one of the hardest with an Emberdrain deck. We are, however, very powerful here on this bottom floor. It was just a bit slow. Kindle. Shroud my toes is wretch. Oh, it has to be wretch. Has it? If we get Superfood, wretch might be pretty good. I think I was a bit too hasty on that one. But it should be good. We should find a use for it. Now I wish I had taken the feast. We're most likely not gonna be able to afford anything here, yeah. Shouldn't have come here. I didn't notice we were that low on gold. Superfood. That's all I wanted. And yeah, left side would definitely have been better. There was a chance that we might see an affordable and useful artifact in the shop, but to be entirely honest, that chance was quite low. The usual problem. Not enough damage on the bottom floor. Yeah, I shouldn't have taken those wretches. How do we deal with this guy? That's not gonna be enough. Not by a long shot. And I really want to play the Sharpen. Although, this gets us the kill on the backliners. So that means we only have to deal with that guy. Sadly, nothing in this deck can really deal with him unless we have the Animus of Will set up on the top floor. So that's what we have to do. There's no way around it. Well, bottom floor is dying again. These things do help though. Apparently not enough. We can block a hit with a train steward, that should be good enough. Blink is actually a decent amount of damage. That should have gone on Primordium. I forgot about the Superfood upgrade we just got. We need to keep her alive first. That's gonna be tough. We need damage shield at the very least, right now. It's also a lot of damage, that's also a problem. Our deck is currently empty, so we could draw anything. including a lot of stings. Nice draw. I think this worked out somehow. Can it work out again this turn? Now we also need some help on the top floor. Heal 10. And then block the hit for 18. At least we now have enough damage on the bottom floor. Can finally start buffing Penumbra up. Primordium. To the point where we want it. With 6 damage here, then I'm totally fine passing on some Fragile. Did I not? Ah, I let all these morsels die. Well, let's go crazy here. Feast came back. Feel like we need the extra draw now. Our deck is so huge. And oh, I don't feel comfortable with this deck at all. It's way too large. But it's also very powerful potentially. Should really hold over something else, right? No. This is our best scaling. The best scaling we have. I should look at the relics as well. Friendly unit gain +1 attack per stack of spikes. Stings get +20 magic power. This could be very big for us. We are not on the Merchant of Steel side, sadly. Otherwise, Pilestone housing would be amazing. Lightstone casing could still be. If we find some really good upgrade. No one and will, sadly. I think we need to upgrade. We need to spend our gold. We are not in a good spot right now. Pseudo removal. We don't have removal here, so yes. Consume removal doesn't really matter. We're not gonna draw through our deck very often. Maybe cost reduce the other cycle of life. Cycle of life doesn't really matter to me that much. I'm gonna go with Sharpen instead. What's the best card in our deck? Void Binding. I also want to remove a Train Steward, at least one. Better two. I'm gonna keep one around though. Okay, let's hope we have enough scaling. That might be real hard. I am worried. We do have descent. We need to set up on the bottom floor. We already have the space prism. We're all ready to go. This is very dangerous without the upgraded perils in hand. But I need to, right? Should have played the Blink instead. I need to scale. We just need to draw the perils. We did not. We drew a lot of very important cards. Very important cards. Oh. I need a... no. Yes, I do. I do need the spikes on the animals this turn. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be good enough. No wretch this turn, which is bad because this is exactly the turn where we can play the one Horned Tome. Yeah, this is just not gonna work out. The Emberdrain on turn 1 really screwed me over. I do need to scale quickly, but I need to play both animuses. Because otherwise we're just not gonna push through to the boss. Oh, that's the problem with Blink, I get it. We have a Sting this turn. Feast saves the day. There is a point. And I don't care about the incant on the Seraph. You're gaining 4 damage shield a turn. I don't really care about Cycle of Life anymore. Maybe I should have removed those. Can't really use Rail Spike effectively here. Right? Oh no, I should try. Restoring Retreat is a good hit. Oh, we might be a bit too slow here. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe we can win next turn. Indeed we can. Thanks to the power of this damage shield 40, multi-strike 5, rage 167, Emberdrain 89 unit. That's a good unit. Five-turn boss rush. Happy with that. Honestly, I think I should have focused more on getting out the rail spikes to draw, so I could draw into my one-horn storm faster. That might have sped up the kill by maybe a turn or so. Yeah, we only managed to boss rush the Seraph and we took some damage in the early stages of the fight, but overall this was a very good run, considering the challenge posed by shields up. That's always a tough modifier for flying boss kills, because it's so hard to remove all the enemies in front of the boss. The spikes are really crucial in removing these damage shields and sometimes weaker enemies if the infused mallet happened to trigger. So that was very nice. And I'm glad we finally got Superfood. Without Superfood, there would have been no chance of us getting that flying kill. Yeah, fun deck. Also, really large deck. We are 80 points short of beating Drake. Let's look at Ninja's deck. 1510 coins, an insane amount of artifacts. This just looks like a fake to me. Yep. There is no combo in this deck then that can generate this amount of coinage. So yeah, that's a pretty easy cheater. Let's look at Drake's deck. That one looks like a more legit score to me. What am I looking at? 7-turn boss rush? Yeah. Wait. 10 turn, 7. Yeah. Yeah, you know. Well, looks like we actually managed to get the number one legit spot here. Let's take a look at some of the other decks that actually play legit. 3 damage taken to Scorch, I assume. Did manage to do pretty well in the early stages of the fight, at least. Also went with Animuses of Will. A lot of them. That's a crazy amount of Animuses. And Crucible Wardens on top? How do you fit all these units on a train? Well, non-consuming Space Prism helps, I guess. And Channel Song is pretty nice with that many Animuses, so I guess that's something. For restoring retreats, okay. I can see that working out. Ember. He kept the Void Binding in the deck though. Extra Ember so he could play the One-Horn Tomes. That kind of makes sense. Not saying this is a bad deck, but it's a rather unambitious deck. This guy wasn't even trying to go for flying kills, but he did pretty well considering everything else, so good job, I guess. But it frightens me to play a deck with that many priority units. This guy went with the holdover Void Binding, double stacked Grovel. That's interesting. He picked Perils of Production. Kindle. This guy kinda went with a sort of Ember economy kind of build to play large rail spikes. Non-consuming ones even. Sure. Seems reasonable. Anyways. Are there any... Nope. Yeah, I guess that's it for the daily challenge. Was pretty fun. Usual Primordium, Animus of Will stuff. But it's good. It worked, and we had a few interesting things in this deck. Mainly the fact that it was so huge, but we had a ton of card draw. So even though it was so huge, we drew through it pretty quickly. So that was quite nice.